By this point, most people would have hightailed it out of there without any hesitation, but Daniel decides to sit back down to finish his dinner as he tries to calm his nerves for the second time. Amazingly, a few minutes later, it almost seems like he completely forgets about the footsteps and manages to think about less disturbing things, which is honestly pretty impressive. But as darkness sets in, the eerie footsteps start up again.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't stay here now. I want to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments, but I can't stay here. I'm too unsettled. I'm nervous. I've done camping like this a load of times. I think I'm gonna go find somewhere else to get this bivvy set up. But I'm leaving this spot.
Understandably, after this third incident, Daniel decides to head somewhere else for the night to play it safe. It's hard to know what exactly was making those sounds, but because they sounded very similar to human footsteps, it's possible that Daniel was being stalked by someone in the woods. This is obviously incredibly dangerous, as you can never really trust someone's intentions when you're in such a vulnerable position, all by yourself in unknown territory. It was either that or an animal walking through the grass, but because Daniel mentioned the grass was a little wet and wouldn't have made that dry sound if an animal stepped on it, this is pretty unlikely. Also, many people in the comments mentioned that no animal walks that uniform and steady. They stop, go, and change pace constantly. Either way, it's a good thing he decided to leave, because who knows what could have happened to Daniel that night. One of the most annoying things to me is spam texts and phone calls. You would actually be surprised by the amount of times I get interrupted recording these videos by phone calls from random numbers. Well, I did some research and uncovered that a lot of times these spammers are able to get our personal info, email addresses, and phone numbers because big companies can't keep our data safe from data breaches and hacks. You may not have heard, but back in May, Ticketmaster was hacked and the data of over 500 million people were put up for sale on the dark web for anyone to buy. This stolen data included full names, addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, and credit card data. At best, this was going to lead to more spam calls, texts, and emails for their customers, but at worst, fraud and identity theft. So, what is Ticketmaster doing about it? Absolutely nothing. They said they didn't think the hack would have a material impact on our overall business. All these businesses happily collect our data but do very little to protect it, and even less when it's compromised. That's why I use Aura, the sponsor of this video. Aura alerts me when my data is found in data breaches like the Ticketmaster one, or leaked on the dark web. It gives me fast fraud alerts if anyone tries to use that data to access my credit card or bank accounts. And it removes my information from data broker websites so I get less spam. I also get things like transaction monitoring, a VPN, antivirus, a password manager, parental controls, and identity theft insurance. I get all this in one app at an affordable price. If my info was compromised in the Ticketmaster data breach, I wouldn't have to worry because Aura is always on, always doing the hard work of keeping me safe. I'm not leaving myself and my family vulnerable to data breaches, and if you don't want to either, you can go to aura.com/chillingscares and try your first 2 weeks for free, also linked below in the description. The Rampant Range is part of a front range of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado, made up of almost entirely public land within the Pike National Forest. In the summer, you'll find lots of bikers enjoying the Rampant Range's elaborate trail system and exploring the great outdoors. For the most part, this part of Colorado is a paradise for anyone who enjoys spending time in nature. But over the past few years, there's been a pretty alarming trend on the rise, with random people setting up wires on trees at just about head height in an effort to seriously injure bikers on the trail. In 2019, a post describing this terrifying trend was uploaded to Facebook. And disturbingly, the uploader mentioned that one of his high school friends had lost his life as a result of running into a similar wire on a trail. Immediately, people jumped into the comments to point out how incredibly messed up it would be to do something like this, and how this kind of evil needs to be categorized as attempted murder if the suspects are ever caught. A couple of years before that post was made, in 2017, 2 motorbike riders uploaded a video to YouTube of their encounter with the